Ever wish you could just sit down with Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger?
Yeah.
Like, just pick their brains about investing and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this deep dive is like the next best thing.
Right.
We're going on a journey
Okay.
through 30 years
Wow.
of notes taken from the Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meetings,
That's incredible.
guided by the authors who compiled them,
Okay.
Daniel Picot and Corey Wren.
Oh, wow.
Their book is called 30 Years of Lessons Learned from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger at the annual shareholders meetings.
I love it.
It's like a concentrated dose of brilliance.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, these meetings are legendary.
They are, yeah.
People come from all over the world
All over.
to hear these guys talk.
For sure.
It's like the University of Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
Picot himself started attending these meetings back in 1984,
Okay.
and he was instantly hooked.
Yeah.
He even said, "What took me so long to get here?"
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. He's a self-described learning organism.
I like that.
And, he was seeking out investing wisdom from giants
Uh-huh.
before he even found Buffett.
Okay.
He learned from Sir John Templeton,
Oh, no.
another legend.
Yeah.
Before ever even going to a Berkshire meeting.
Talk about dedication.
I know, right?
So we're not just talking stock tips here.
No.
This is about understanding their thinking, like their philosophy that made them so successful.
The philosophy, yeah.
Exactly.
It's about absorbing their approach
Right.
to, evaluating businesses, how to navigate the market,
Yeah.
even some life lessons along the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So let's rewind time.
Okay.
Back to the early days of Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
before it was like this massive
Yeah.
investment conglomerate.
Right.
Back then, it was actually a struggling textile company.
Really?
Yeah. So how did Buffett transform that
Yeah.
into this investment powerhouse?
Yeah. How did he do that?
Well, it all started because he saw an opportunity.
Okay.
He recognized the value where others didn't,
Uh-huh.
and he took control of the company
Okay.
and essentially used it as like a platform
Right.
to launch his investing career.
That's great.
And that's where the core of their investing philosophy comes in.
Okay.
Value
We
investing.
were investing.
It's all about finding those hidden gems.
Right.
Businesses that have intrinsic value that the market is undervaluing.
Right.
They took inspiration from Benjamin Graham,
Okay.
who's kind of like the father of value investing.
Oh, okay.
And he stressed the difference between a company's price
Mm-hmm.
and its actual worth.
No. Okay.
It's like finding a $100 bill for $50.
I like it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it sounds simple,
Right.
but finding those opportunities takes real skill.
For sure.
That's where Buffett and Munger's expertise comes in.
Right.
They had a knack for what they called
Okay.
mispriced gambles.
Mispriced gambles.
These are investments with a high probability of paying off.
Gotcha.
So how did they go about finding these mispriced gambles
Yeah.
and building Berkshire into the giant it is today?
Right.
Was it just like one big gamble after another?
I don't know. Was it?
Not at all.
Okay.
They were incredibly strategic,
Yeah.
growing through a series of really carefully chosen acquisitions.
Gotcha.
So one of their first big moves was acquiring National Indemnity.
Okay.
That was an insurance company
Okay.
that formed the foundation of their massive insurance empire.
Wow.
Now, speaking of the early days,
Okay.
there's this hilarious anecdote in the book
Okay.
about Picot's future co-author, Corey Wren.
Okay.
He was working at one of the meetings,
Uh-huh.
and apparently Corey unwittingly stopped both Warren and Susie Buffett from entering a Berkshire meeting.
No way.
Yeah, because he didn't recognize them.
Oh, that's funny.
He was taking tickets at the door,
Wow.
fresh on the job.
I love it.
No idea. He was turning away the very people everyone was there to see.
That's great.
So back to Berkshire's growth.
Okay.
They weren't just buying any companies.
Right.
Right. What made an acquisition worthy of their
Yeah.
attention?
Yeah. What were they looking for?
They were laser focused on what they called
Okay.
wonderful businesses.
Wonderful businesses.
So these are companies with strong fundamentals,
Okay. Oh.
a history of profitability,
Right.
solid management,
Mm-hmm.
a competitive edge
Yeah.
that could generate cash flow for years to come.
Makes sense.
And they were playing the long game.
Yeah.
It wasn't like flipping companies.
Right.
They bought companies like Geico,
Uh-huh.
these candies,
Right.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
These are all prime examples
Right.
of companies they held for the long haul.
Wow.
Their long-term focus is key to their success.
Makes sense.
They believed in the power of compounding.
Yeah.
They weren't chasing short-term gains.
Right.
It's a real contrast to how a lot of corporations work today.
Oh, for sure.
So they found these wonderful companies. They bought them.
Yep.
And then did they just sit back and watch the money roll in?
I mean, I wish it were that easy.
Me too.
Right.
Not quite.
Okay.
They had a very specific approach
Okay.
to evaluating these businesses.
Right.
One of their key principles is it is far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price.
So true.
Now, that seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, it does.
Why wouldn't you want to grab a bargain,
Right.
even if the company isn't the best?
Yeah.
Let's think about it this way.
Okay.
You have two options.
Okay.
You could buy a fair company, so it's doing okay.
Right.
It doesn't have a strong competitive advantage.
Right.
But you can get it at a bargain price.
Okay.
Or you could buy a wonderful company,
Okay.
like a Coca-Cola,
Right.
where they have a dominant market share
So.
and a proven track record. But you pay a little bit of a higher price.
Right.
I see where you're going.
Yeah.
That fair company, they could get overtaken
Right.
by competition.
For sure.
Maybe they'll make some bad management decisions.
Right.
So even if you get it at a steal,
Yeah.
its value could just erode over time.
Absolutely.
Whereas the wonderful company, even if you pay a little bit more upfront,
Yeah.
they've got that built-in resilience.
Right.
They have a strong brand,
Yeah.
good management. They know how to adapt to market changes.
Right.
Their value is probably just going to grow over time.
Absolutely.
So you're essentially buying peace of mind and a higher probability of long-term returns with that wonderful company.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that long-term compounding effect is key to their strategy.
Yeah.
They believed in buying businesses that could generate returns for years, decades to come.
It's amazing.
And that required a deep understanding of the business itself.
Right.
Not just the stock price.
Yeah.
That's where their emphasis on predicting the company's trajectory over a 10-year period
A long time.
comes in.
Yeah.
They actually use the example of Buffett passing on some tech giants
Really?
like Intel and Microsoft
Wow.
because he wasn't confident
Oh, wow.
he could predict their long-term success.
It's amazing.
It's incredible, right?
It is.
Passing on companies that became titans of industry.
Wow.
But it just shows you how disciplined they were.
Right.
And they were willing to stay within their circle of competence.
Yeah.
They'd rather miss out
Right.
than invest in something they don't fully understand.
Yeah.
It's a valuable lesson for investors.
Absolutely.
So how did they gain that deep understanding?
How did they know?
Were they crunching numbers all day?
Right.
Poring over complex spreadsheets?
I don't know. Were they?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Buffett is known for relying on something surprisingly simple.
Okay.
Annual reports.
Really?
He believed in using his own judgment,
Uh-huh.
not some fancy algorithms
Right.
or complex financial models to make decisions.
That's great.
It seems counterintuitive in today's data-driven world.
It does.
Do you think his approach is still relevant for individual investors?
That's a good question.
The core principle, I think, remains relevant.
Okay.
It's about focusing on the fundamentals of a business
Yeah.
and using common sense
Right.
to evaluate its long-term potential.
Absolutely.
Buffett and Munger are really skeptical of what they call false precision,
False precision.
the illusion of accuracy
Right.
created by those overly complex
Right.
financial models.
Gotcha.
So they're big advocates
Okay.
for enlightened common sense.
It's enlightened common sense.
But how do you apply that to investing?
How do you do that?
It's not like you can plug it into a spreadsheet.
Right.
They often use the analogy
Okay.
of betting on a mispriced gamble.
Okay.
You don't need complex algorithms to
Right.
figure that out.
Right, yeah.
You just need to understand the odds,
Mm-hmm.
the potential payoff,
Yeah.
and if the risk is justified.
Gotcha.
So it's about cutting through the noise,
Right.
focusing on those fundamentals of the business,
Mm-hmm.
and using your own judgment
Yeah.
to determine if the odds are in your favor.
That makes sense.
It sounds simple, but it takes a lot of experience and discipline to master.
Absolutely.
It's about resisting the temptation to get caught up
Right.
in market hype
Yeah.
or to chase quick profit.
Exactly.
And this brings us to their views on the market itself.
Okay.
Buffett and Munger have been famously skeptical of market bubbles and irrational exuberance, and they've witnessed a lot of market swings
For sure.
from the dot-com bubble to the housing crisis.
Absolutely.
But they always seem to stay calm amidst all the chaos.
Yeah.
Their perspective on the market
Okay.
is really different than what you might hear
Right.
from like a Wall Street analyst.
Okay.
They believe the market exists to serve you,
Okay.
not to instruct you.
Interesting.
Don't let the market dictate
Okay.
your investment decisions.
Gotcha.
So don't get swept up in the frenzy when the
Right.
market is soaring.
Right.
And don't panic sell when things take a dip.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Oh, for sure.
It takes discipline.
Yeah.
But they actually view volatility
Okay.
as a friend to the true investor.
Interesting.
Market swings.
Mm-hmm.
They create opportunities to buy those wonderful businesses
Right.
at discounted prices.
Right.
Recognize that short-term fluctuations are inevitable
Yeah.
and stay focused on the long-term value of your investment. That's a perspective
Right.
that can really help weather the storm.
Yeah.
So we've talked about their acquisition strategy,
Mm-hmm.
their focus on wonderful businesses,
Right.
their approach to the market.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle
Okay.
that's been crucial to their success:
Okay.
insurance.
Insurance.
This is where the concept of float comes into play.
Okay.
This has been a key differentiator for
Okay.
Berkshire.
Gotcha.
So float is essentially free money
Okay.
that insurance companies get to use
Right.
while they're waiting to pay out claims.
Yeah.
Buffett has compared it to like a long-lived oil well.
Okay.
It's a constant stream of cash flow
Right.
that they can reinvest into other businesses.
Yeah.
And it's like a built-in advantage.
I like it.
Now, what's really remarkable
Yeah.
is Berkshire has consistently generated what are called underwriting profits
Okay.
in their insurance operations.
Gotcha.
This means they're making money before even factoring in the float.
Wow, that's incredible.
Hold on, what exactly is an underwriting profit?
Okay, so it simply means that the premiums they collect
Uh-huh.
from policyholders,
Okay.
they exceed the cost of paying out claims
Right.
and running the business.
Gotcha.
So they're earning a profit
Okay.
from their core insurance operations
Okay.
on top of having access to that float.
That's incredible.
I know.
It sounds like they're making money on both ends of the insurance equation.
Absolutely.
They mastered the art
Right.
of what's called disciplined underwriting.
Disciplined underwriting.
So they're very selective about the risks they take on.
Okay.
They're known for saying no to more deals than they say yes to.
Wow.
So it's not just about collecting premiums.
Right.
It's about carefully assessing risk
Yeah.
and making sure you're not taking on more than you can handle.
That makes sense.
They even contemplate
Oh,
unlikely scenarios,
right.
like a tsunami hitting California, to ensure they're prepared for the worst.
Makes sense.
This approach to risk management
Yeah.
is a hallmark of their success.
Right.
It makes you wonder if they ever get anything wrong.
I know.
So we covered their acquisition strategy,
Mm-hmm.
their market philosophy, the power of float.
Yeah.
But at the heart of it all
Mm-hmm.
is this consistent theme
Right.
of long-term thinking,
Yeah.
disciplined decision-making,
Right.
and a deep understanding
Right.
of the businesses they invest in.
It's so true.
It's not just about picking stocks.
Right.
It's about building a portfolio
Mm-hmm.
of high-quality businesses
Yeah.
that can withstand the test of time.
For sure.
And it's about building a culture that fosters those same values
Mm-hmm.
within the companies they own.
Makes sense.
Which brings us to another fascinating aspect of Berkshire,
Okay.
their management philosophy.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Let's dive into that.
Sounds good.
I think there's a lot to learn from how they manage and lead.
Absolutely. They have this simple yet profound philosophy when it comes to management.
Okay.
They say the key to successful investing is to buy wonderful businesses and wonderful managers.
So it's not just about the numbers, the balance sheets, the
Right.
market trends.
Yeah.
It's about the people running those businesses.
The people, yeah.
Exactly.
They have this incredible ability
Right.
to identify and attract exceptional talent.
Uh-huh.
And their approach is really different
How so?
than what you see in a lot of corporations today.
What sets their approach apart?
Well, for starters, they emphasize passion for the business over
mean?
just chasing money.
Okay.
They look for people that are like intrinsically motivated,
Right.
who genuinely care about the company and its mission.
It's about finding people that are driven by more than just a paycheck.
Right.
They're building something they believe in.
Exactly.
And they often talk about the importance of integrity
Right.
and ethical behavior
Yeah.
in their managers.
For sure.
They want leaders who are not only competent, but also trustworthy
Right.
and aligned with Berkshire's values.
Absolutely.
It's about building a culture of trust and accountability,
Yeah.
which can be so valuable over time.
Absolutely.
And once they find these star players,
Yeah.
they give them a ton of autonomy.
A lot of freedom.
So it's not about micromanaging every decision.
Right.
They trust these managers to run their businesses effectively.
Right.
It's a very decentralized structure.
It is.
They believe in empowering your teams,
Right.
giving them the freedom to make decisions
Yeah.
without having to constantly check in with headquarters.
Makes sense.
That's such a stark contrast
It is.
to a lot of companies that have this top-down, commanding control style of management, this hands-off approach.
Yeah.
I think it really speaks to their belief in individual initiative, their responsibility. They hire talented people, and then they trust them to do what they do best.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if that trust is a key factor
I think so.
in attracting and retaining top talent.
It has to be.
People want to work for a company that empowers them
Right.
and values their contributions.
Absolutely.
I'm sure it plays a big role.
Yeah.
Now, this approach is also reflected in their views on compensation.
Okay.
So they believe in rewarding performance,
Right.
but they're wary of excessive executive pay. That's not tied to actual results.
Gotcha.
So it's not about enriching themselves
Right.
at the expense of the company
Yeah.
or its shareholders.
Yeah.
It's about aligning everyone's interests
Right.
towards the long-term success of the business.
Makes sense.
Now, beyond the investment and management insights, these shareholder meetings are full of these little nuggets of wisdom, life lessons that extend way beyond finance. It's like getting a donus dose of philosophy and self-improvement along with your investing advice.
It's great.
It's fascinating
It is.
how they weave these insights into their discussions.
Yeah.
Buffett often says, the best investment you can make is in yourself.
So true.
He stresses the importance of continuous learning, cultivating good habits,
Right.
developing your own independent thinking.
Yeah.
It's about investing in your own human capital,
Absolutely.
constantly expanding your knowledge and skills.
Right.
That kind of resonates with their decentralized management style,
It does.
right?
Yeah.
Empowering people to learn and grow within their roles.
Absolutely.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Now, Munger,
Okay.
with his sharp wit
Yeah.
and his pragmatic approach, he's a master of distilling these complex ideas into these really simple, actionable principles.
I love it.
He's famous for saying, repeat what works.
So true.
It sounds obvious, but it's so easy to get caught up in the latest trends or fads and forget the fundamentals.
Absolutely.
It's about learning from experience, identifying what's effective, and sticking with it.
Right.
No need to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
This pragmatic approach applies to invested management and life in general.
For sure.
It's a reminder to focus on the things that have proven to work.
Right.
Don't get distracted by the shiny new objects.
Absolutely.
Speaking of things that work,
Okay.
let's talk about one of the most fascinating aspects of Berkshire's strategy.
Right.
Their mastery of the insurance industry.
Okay.
This has been a key driver of their success.
For sure.
For decades.
Yeah.
We touched on the concept of float earlier, that pool of money that they get to use while waiting to pay out claims.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's more to it than just that, right?
Oh, yeah. A lot more.
Their understanding of insurance goes much deeper than just float.
Right.
They've built this reputation
Okay.
for disciplined underwriting.
Disciplined underwriting.
So they're very careful
Okay.
about the risks that they take on.
Makes sense.
It's not about insuring everything that comes their way.
Right.
It's about being selective
Yeah.
and only taking on risks that they understand and can manage effectively.
Absolutely.
They have this amazing ability to assess risk and price policies accordingly.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to say no to deals that don't meet their criteria.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't make.
Oh, true.
Avoiding bad bets is just as important as making good ones.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And their discipline is also reflected in their willingness to consider even the most unlikely scenarios.
Okay.
So they've talked about thinking through things like a tsunami hitting California,
Wow.
or a major earthquake in the Midwest.
That's crazy.
It sounds like they're always thinking a few steps ahead,
Right.
anticipating problems, preparing for the worst.
Absolutely.
They understand that unexpected events are going to happen.
Right.
And they're not caught off guard
Right.
when they do this long-term perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And this meticulous risk management are key to their success.
For sure.
In insurance,
Yeah.
it's not just about collecting premiums.
Right.
It's about managing risk responsibly
Yeah.
and ensuring the long-term stability of the business.
Absolutely.
And that same mindset
Yeah.
applies to their investment philosophy.
It does.
It's about looking beyond those short-term fluctuations.
Right.
And focusing on the fundamentals
Yeah.
that drive long-term value.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered their approach to management, their emphasis on personal growth,
Yeah.
their mastery of insurance,
Right.
and of course their core investment philosophy. As we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
what are some key takeaways that stand out to you?
Well, for me, it's the incredible consistency in their approach, whether it's evaluating a business, managing a team,
Right.
navigating the market.
Yeah.
They adhere to this set of core principles
Right.
that have guided their success for decades.
And those principles are rooted in common sense,
For sure.
a deep understanding of human behavior, and a long-term perspective that's rare in today's world.
Absolutely.
They're not swayed by fads or trends.
No.
They stick to their principles.
Oh, yeah.
Even when it means going against the grain or passing on lucrative opportunities.
Yeah.
True success is built on a foundation of solid principles,
For sure.
not quick schemes or shortcuts.
Right.
And it's a journey of continuous learning
It is.
and adaptation.
Absolutely.
They're always seeking new knowledge,
Yeah.
challenging their own assumptions,
Totally.
evolving their thinking over time.
It's amazing
It's inspiring. Yeah.
to see that even at the top, they never stop learning and growing.
Never stop learning.
Now, as we go deeper into their insights,
Okay.
let's explore another piece of their philosophy,
Okay.
their views on market psychology,
All right.
and how to avoid the traps
Yeah.
that catch so many investors.
For sure.
They seem to have this uncanny ability to stay rational
Right.
and avoid the emotional roller coaster of investing.
Right.
How do they do it? It's like they have this superhuman ability
I know.
to detach themselves from the market.
Right.
What's their secret?
Well, one of the key things is they understand
Okay.
the difference between like the market itself and the underlying businesses that you're investing in.
Right.
They talk about this.
Yeah.
They call him Mr. Market.
Mr. Market.
It's this fictional character who's prone to mood swings and irrational behavior.
So Mr. Market's that unpredictable friend
Yes.
who's always offering to buy or sell.
At prices that don't make sense.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And the key is
Okay.
don't let his emotions dictate your decisions.
Right.
So you don't get swept up in the euphoria
Right.
when he's overly optimistic.
Right.
And you don't panic when he's feeling down.
Gotcha.
Stay focused on the fundamentals of the businesses you own,
Yeah.
not the day-to-day fluctuations of the market.
So it's about taking that long-term perspective,
Exactly.
riding out those ups and downs,
The roller coaster.
and let the power of compounding
Right.
work its magic.
It's a beautiful thing.
Patience is a virtue,
It is.
especially in investing.
Absolutely.
And they've also been pretty vocal about the dangers of speculation
Oh, yeah.
and chasing quick profits.
For sure.
They warn against following the herd,
Right.
getting caught up in those bubbles.
And investing in things you don't understand.
Yeah.
They've seen how those strategies can lead to disaster,
Yeah.
especially during those periods
Right.
of irrational exuberance.
Like the dot-com bubble.
Exactly.
They believe in sticking to their circle of competence. Investing in businesses they understand,
Right.
where they can confidently assess the long-term potential.
Absolutely.
It's about knowing your strengths and weaknesses
Right.
and staying disciplined, even when it seems like everyone else is making a fortune doing something else.
For sure.
It takes courage to resist that temptation.
It does.
Now, as we get to the end here,
Okay.
there's one theme that really stands out to me.
What's that?
Lifelong.
So important.
They're both voracious readers,
They are.
always looking for new knowledge,
Uh-huh.
new perspectives.
Yeah.
It's like they embody that learning organism idea
They do.
that Peacock talked about.
Absolutely.
They never stop learning. They're always evolving their thinking,
Right.
adapting to new information.
It's amazing.
That's one of the biggest lessons we can take
Unbelievable.
away. The world is constantly changing.
Right.
We have to be willing to adapt
Right.
and grow
Yeah.
if we want to stay ahead.
Absolutely.
Complacency is the enemy of progress.
It is.
So, whether you're an investor
Yeah.
or just navigating life in general.
Right.
You got to have that mindset of continuous learning.
You do.
It's not about having all the answers. It's
Right.
about being curious, asking questions, being open to new ideas.
Absolutely.
And it's about learning from mistakes.
Yes.
Not letting them get you down, but using them as opportunities to grow.
For sure.
So as we wrap up our deep dive
Right.
into the wisdom of Buffett and Munger, what's one key takeaway?
For me, it would be the importance of developing your own independent thinking.
Independent thinking.
Don't just blindly follow the crowd.
Okay.
Or accept what everyone says at face value.
Yeah.
Question assumptions. Do your own research. Come to your own conclusions.
Become a critical thinker.
Yes.
Not just in investing, but in life.
That's everything.
And remember, success is a journey.
It is.
Not a destination.
So true.
It's about continuous learning, growth, and adaptation.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a journey worth taking.
It is.
Learning from these legends. Applying these insights to our own lives.
For sure.
Striving to be better investors.
Absolutely.
And better human beings.
So true.
Their wisdom's out there.
It is.
Their annual letters to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Those are a treasure trove.
They are.
Of insights.
Yeah.
You can find them online for free.
That's great.
Fantastic resource.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about their approach.
For sure.
It's like having their playbook.
Right.
Full of timeless wisdom and practical advice.
So as we conclude our deep dive, I encourage our listener to check out those letters.
Delve deeper into the world of Buffett and Munger.
Yeah.
Continue this journey.
For sure.
Of lifelong learning.
Absolutely.
It's been great having you.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, happy investing.
Happy investing.
And happy learning.